So on sheet 12, it's asking you to make an exploded view to show how everything is assembled together. In this tutorial, we're just going to go through the presentation view, how to get that part knocked out and out of the way, and from there we're going to make a different video on how to then put that into the rest of your drawing files. So let's go back to Inventor. Here's your assembly file. It's saved as an assembly file. We don't want to do anything to it, leave it the way it is. Go up to New and select Presentation. Now when you go to Create View, it's going to ask you to find an assembly file. So let's pick your jewelry box. And now you go to Tweak Components. What's going to happen is you're going to click your mouse somewhere, which is placing a vector. And this is saying that anything that you click and drag is going to follow the X, the Y, or Z with respect to where you place the vector. So in this case, Z is highlighted, so if I grabbed anything, it would go in the up direction, the Z direction. So let's hold down Control, and we're going to select all of our trim and the lid. Actually, I don't even think you have to hold down Control. You will select all the trim and the lid and lift it straight up. And for some reason, either my computer's lagging or something just didn't work. So let's try this one more time. Click in the middle. Don't hold Control. Just go ahead and click the sides. Don't click the middle. Just click and drag. Don't single click the middle. Click and drag straight up. Once you got it where you want it, select Clear. Okay. Now we want to show that the trim is actually separate from the rest of the lid. So if we click on the lid, we can then tell it that we want the Y-axis. I can select this one piece of trim, click and drag away, and let's say this is going to go exactly 1 inch away. Well, now I can say the distance that travels out is 1 inch. Clear in between. If I want this to go in the X direction, I can select it here or up here. Click and drag. Let's make this 1. See how this is already going the wrong way? Let's make this the X direction. And let's also make this the X direction, but to go front and back. Oop. And notice how this went negative on us. So I'm going to make sure that's a -1. Perfect. Now let's try and get the tray out of here. So I'm going to set down my vector. So notice I'm going to pull it up in the Z direction. I'm going to click on these two. Now I have to hold down Shift and my mouse wheel so I can rotate everything if the computer isn't being laggy, which it is. You know what, with this computer, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use my little view cube here to select different parts. I need to select these two, and then click and drag the center up. Okay, clear. I'm going to set my vector down on here. And Z direction is highlighted. I'm going to pull this out away from the wall a little bit. Let's call that 1 inch. Let's look at the other side. We'll do the same thing over here. We clicked clear, but we can always click it again. Nothing bad's going to happen. Change this to 1 inch away. Now as long as we can get that vector be blue, and click and drag this up above the rest of the box. And I didn't see how far up that went. We'll fix it later. Make sure we click clear, select this, click and drag. That looks about right. set down a vector over here somewhere. I'm going to click on each of my dowel rods individually. Click and drag the last one. Let's pull it out away from there. Let's say 3 inches is probably good. We'll pull these all apart at 3 inches. Oop. Clear. And make sure you're clicking clear in between. And this is not being nice to me. I want to just move the view cube. There we go. Tweak components, set down your vector, click your 2 dowel rods. Let's close that out. I think this may have moved with us by accident. Not entirely sure, but let's try one more time. You know what? Those pulled out, and I think this did move with it. So let's check. Here's a little plus next to explosion 1, plus next to assembly 1. And the last thing that we did, and there was a tweak on the dowel rod. Yep, here's one of them that didn't go out to 3 inches. So let's change this tweak here to 3. So here it should say 3. That should say 3. Then here's this piece of 8-inch, or this shelf support, and it did get tweaked out to the side a little bit. But I think it was supposed to have that. It went out and then straight up, so we should be good. Oh, no, this goes on the side of this tray. So the second tweak is bad. Let's delete this entirely. So there it's back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, let's go back to tweak components. We'll pull this shelf apart a little bit, about 1 inch away. This is going to have to be a -1. And another -1. We have all the dowel rods pulled out, so now we can, and this is 3 inches out. Let's grab the sides and pull those out. Let's call this 1 inch. Clear in between each. And we'll drop the bottom out of this just a little bit, and maybe we'll go 3 inches on that. Hit clear. Now we've pulled everything on this entire box apart. I'm going to double click my mouse wheel so it comes back into the center, and if you go up to animate, let's change the interval here from 25 down to 5, and repetitions at 1. Apply. And let's see what this looks like if we hit play. So it's showing how everything would come together if you were to physically assemble this. Isn't that cool? If you guys want to save this, keep it, all you have to do is click the record button, and this is going to save it as a WMV file or AVI. And you can play around. Let's say if we do AVI, you can change the compressor that you're using. You can change the quality of the playback, all kinds of things. So if you want to save this for yourself, show other people, this is one of the cooler things about the program. And if it turns out that you have something in the wrong place, you can always go with the animate. You have this extra button here, and you can choose which of these things, if you want to group things together so they happen at the same time. I can select two and say group, and I did that by holding down control to click on two different things at once. I can group them, ungroup them if you messed it up, move it up, move it down so things happen in a certain order. You have lots of ways you can play with this. So have some fun with it, and in the next video I'll show you how you can put this into your drawing sheet and make a new bill of materials.